Good morning, gang. We'll try this again. Second time. Finished recording the video, uploaded the whole thing. No audio. Oops. Happy Thursday. So as I sit here and wait for the sun to come up, and now it's 6:15, and instead of being 5:15, hopefully I'll have this out before 7:15. We'll try again, but as I'm waiting for the sun to come up to see how the pond did overnight, crossing my fingers, hope it's full. Should be. I'm just hoping it didn't get so full it crested, but it shouldn't because drain should work and everything like that. But I haven't been able to test that, so there we go. All right, but not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the effects on all of us that the forthcoming invasion is going to have. Now, most of you guys know Title 42 expires in 6 days, I think it is. And there are tens of thousands of illegals sitting on the border waiting to come across into the country. Yeah, well, it's not only happening to the United States, it's also happening in Europe. And the funny part about it is all the socialist, globalist, we need to open our arms and welcome these people are going, oh, no, we're not going to do it. We can't afford to. We need you poor people to pay for all of this. Okay, I'm going to give you this. Let's start with Italy. All right, Giorgia Meloni, who is the new prime minister in Italy. Giorgia Meloni, I've talked about her a couple of times, is a conservative, nationalist, Italy first politician. Okay. And she's really putting the screws to the rest of the EU, to the socialists, the Macrons and the Schultzes and everybody like that are run, specifically those two. So there's a bunch of illegal immigration coming into Europe, just like there is in the United States. And I'll get to the United States, don't worry. But there's a bunch of illegals coming into Europe. And primarily they're coming from Northern Africa via boat. And you have all these humanitarian boats and everything. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, there were all the stories that Italy was refusing these boats to dock. Okay? And the rest of the EU was going nuts, going, you can't do that. That's not humanitarian. That's not the thing to do. Mind you, they won't say that's not the Christian thing to do because there's persecution of Christians in Europe, just like there is in the United States. Okay. But I want to give you this. Okay. The two biggest proponents of bringing in all these illegals in Europe are France and Germany. Now, like I said, all these illegals come in via boat. Most of them dock in Italy because it's the closest place. Hence the reason most of the illegals come into Texas, because it's the closest place. Okay. So far this year, Italy has taken in, or people have disembarked in Italy. 94,000 migrants have landed in Italy. Germany and France, oh my God, you got to take these people in. It's the right thing to do, right? Of those 94,000 people, France has taken 38 of them. Germany has taken 57. The other 93,115 are still in Italy, and the Italians are getting to pay for them. Now, no offense to you guys living in Italy, but the Italian economy is not exactly as strong as the German economy. There's not as much wealth there to spread around. Okay, so the burden on the poorer countries is fine with the Frances and the Germanys. Okay, let's talk about the migration from Ukraine because of the war. The Germans aren't taking many. The French are hardly taking any. The Czech Republic has taken 500,000. Okay, yeah. Poland has taken a boatload. Germany and France, nah, not so many. Okay. This is the thing. The elitists, the globalists, want all these people, oh, we have to save them for humanitarian reasons. Just don't ask me to pay for it. Okay. That's what's going on in Europe. You think about what's going on in the United States. If I asked you a question and said, what is the most vocal sanctuary state in the entire country that belittles the rest of the country because we don't do what they do? 99.999% of you guys would say California, okay? Gavin Newsom, we have to take all these people in. It's the right thing to do. Yeah, okay, Gavin Newsom, we have to take all these people in. It's the right thing to do. Except we don't want to pay for it. This is Newsom's quote, okay? He did an interview with local ABC channel here. Listen to this. The federal government is sending more and more flights and more buses directly here to California because this state is doing what no other state's doing, and that's absorbing and protecting and preserving our values and advancing them by doing healthcare screenings and taking care of folks. And the more we do, the burden is placed disproportionately upon us. We're already at capacity in 9 of our sites. We can't continue to fund all of these sites because of budgetary pressures now being placed on this state and the offsetting issues that I have to address. I got a real easy solution for you, Gavin. Think about Americans first, okay? It's not difficult. You don't want all those budgetary constraints? Tell the Hondurans to go back to Honduras. Tell the Salvadorans to go back to El Salvador. Tell the Haitians to go back to Haiti. Tell the Mexicans to go back to Mexico. Like those states of us with common sense have been saying since the beginning, okay? You have all these people coming to the United States that benefit us in exactly zero way. They hurt the rest of us. And yet you're okay with them coming in as long as somebody else pays for it. Now, how does this work? Well, Gavin Newsom goes to the federal government and says, we can't afford this. Congress cuts him a check and says, here, pay for all those illegals. Congress goes, now we got to pay our bill because we had borrowed money. We'll tax the entire country. So little old me here in Tennessee, or you in, I don't know, pick somewhere, Maine, okay, is now paying for the bad policies in California. Think it doesn't affect you? It does. It comes right out of your pocketbook in taxes, okay? It's the tax money that you're sending is going to benefit all these illegals rather than the tax money going to fix the highway system or pay the military. Just saying, okay? Now, I've told you before about what goes on. I said on Saturday, Biden just signed a bill to authorize another 65,000 H-2Bs, guest worker visas, for non-agricultural workers to bring them in to do jobs like landscaping, construction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Like we need 65,000 more people to do work here in the United States with the 11 million that are unemployed. Okay, we need 65,000 more people. But think about those types of jobs they're taking. Most of those people get paid under the table. So what happens? They don't pay taxes. They still need a place to live. They still need food to eat. Okay, they still need gasoline. They still need electricity. But they don't show any income. So now they go, I'm just a poor immigrant. Please give me my food assistance, my housing assistance, my electricity assistance. That again is paid for by you, the taxpayer, okay? They're getting paid, not paying any taxes, and then taking money from you. Remember when I told you that about the Mexican GDP, gross domestic product? The number 2 contributor to the Mexican GDP is money being injected into the Mexican economy from nationals living in the United States. They come here, they work the construction job, they send money back to Mexico, and we build their economy. Okay, this is a zero-sum game, economies. As we build their economy by sending our money, ours suffers. As we build our economy by sending money to India for all the IT personnel, ours suffers. As we build the Chinese economy, turn it into a superpower over the last 50 years, ours suffers. And where does it suffer from? Your wallet and my wallet. Now, people don't pay attention, but this is exactly what the globalists want. Okay, the World Economic Forum. You'll own nothing and be happy. When the government can finally tax you at 100% tax rate, don't think I'm kidding, guys, because we've been over 90% in the history of the United States. Okay, when they can tax you at 100% of your income, that means basically you work for the government. And then they'll give you whatever they think you need, which is exactly where they are heading with all of this. Then you add in the fact the WHO came out again, okay, with this global constitution that will override all countries' constitutions, and the WHO constitution, the globalists, will now decide the laws for any sort of pandemic or whatever, which just leads to the next thing. Hey, we put in martial law, and now we've got martial law, and now we're going to ban this, and we're going to take this, and we're going to do this, and, you know, and all of a sudden you end up in a globalist economy. This is what's coming. This is what people don't want to understand. Not necessarily you and me. We kind of understand what's going on here, but we need to prepare for this, okay? How you can cover yourself for when taxes inevitably get raised, food prices inevitably go up. I mean, the more money that goes to Mexico, that goes to India, that goes to China, okay, means less we have here. The more people that come from India, come from China, come from Bangladesh, come from wherever, okay, the more competition there is for the supplies that we have, which drives the prices up, okay? How many stories do you hear about people that are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs to make ends meet? That ain't getting better. Guys, there is no going back to normal. Anybody that tells you that has been hitting the crack pipe with Hunter. It's just not going to happen. Inflation is going to continue until the point where we have feudalism, the rich and the poor. The rich it won't matter, because the more they raise taxes, the more handouts are given by the government to their cronies. Where are the taxes coming from? And I don't want to hear this crap of, oh, the rich pay taxes. The rich don't. The rich pay accountants to get out of pay taxes. You and I pay taxes, all right? How many stories have we heard about General Electric or Amazon or whatever paid no income tax last year, all right? I don't care if you got a tax refund last year. You still paid income tax. The tax refund you got, gee, you had $5,000 withheld from your paycheck. You got $2,000 of it back. Guess what? That means Uncle Sam got $3,000, okay? The working class is the one that pays the taxes, not the rich. And that's the way they want it. They will get richer and you will get poorer. It's Robin Hood in reverse. And that's exactly what's going on with bringing in all these illegals. It's not trying to bring everybody up. What they're trying to do is bring all of us down to the same standard of living that the poor, the uneducated, the illegals, I mean, pick a different group, have, okay? We need, as preppers, to do what we can to prevent this, not only for ourselves, but for our communities. I've said in other videos, maps change, things change, okay? There's going to be rich communities, there's going to be poor communities, just like there are now. And you will have richer people live in the rich communities and poor people live in the poor communities, just the way the world works. The map will change. Rich doesn't necessarily mean in the future financial. Rich in the future means who can afford to eat, who can eat. You're in a rich community if you've got food. You're in a rich community if you can actually walk down the street and feel safe. You're in a poor community if you can't. I don't care if you live in Manhattan. If you're not safe, and your apartment costs you $10,000 a month, if you don't feel safe walking 2 blocks up the street, you live in a poor community. Okay. That's what we're trying to avoid. That's why it's so important for all of us to pay attention to what's going on, to build our communities. Again, I'll say Robin Hood. Remember what Robin Hood did? Robin Hood got together with the poor, the story of, obviously, and fought for the poor against the rich. There ain't no Robin Hood, guys. There's a certain sheriff of Nottingham sitting in Washington, D.C. that loves to steal from the poor and give it to himself. Who are the people that are going to fight back? It's you and me. And we need to remember that and be ready to take action upon that. Pinball out.